So when I say the name Tom Atkins, what comes to mind? Weight loss, an actor, of course, who was in some drama. I forgot which one. He was also in the movie Two Evil Eyes, directed by Argento and George Romero. But his personal favorite role is in the tribute to horror and sci-fi movies of Night of the Creeps from the 1987, I believe. Yeah, 1988. I'm sorry. A TriStar picture. This one is definitely very freaking funny, very freaking great. And it's been about 4 years since I've seen it. So I said, you know what? Let's just watch and see how this goes. So there's aliens that released a specimen down on the planet in 1950s America, a college campus specifically, where a bunch of where there's a makeout point. You got the fraternity and everything else, and somehow there's a body that's been in cryostasis for 27 years, and two recruits have to quote unquote go and steal it and bring it back to prove their loyalty. You know, it's the most basic loyalty that you can have in a fraternity, which is whatever. But lo and behold, they unleash the alien menace that were just a bunch of slugs, really. And what ensues is some horror, some comedy, and a lot of Tom Atkins, which is freaking phenomenal. And I love this movie overall. Oh, let's see, what makes this movie work? Well, Fred Decker, I forget what else he directed, said, hey, I want to do a tribute to all the 50s movies. But instead of it just being a standard horror movie, they decided to include a sci-fi element, which I liked, which gave this enough of an identity to where it's not standard, it's not boring or anything like that. It feels fresh enough for back then where it can stand on its own 2 feet, but still have a good atmosphere of the nighttime and paying tribute to everything. I mean, Corman University, you have De Palma, you have Dante, you have Cronenberg, you have a whole bunch of other names of horror and sci-fi directors that feel natural, obviously. And then you have you have all the conventions of the 50s movies. You have the alien invasion, you have the deceased body, you have the body possession, and you have the renegade team trying to prevent everything from happening. And this feels like it's a good tribute, if you will, to everything. But of course, it wouldn't be anything without the characters. And the characters here, they have good chemistry. I mean, Chris and DJ, or whatever his name is, they have quips back and forth. And the guy with the initials tell Chris saying, hey, you think this is all like a joke or something? It's like, well, it's like, I'm going to bat for you to make you happy, and you're just taking it off. It's like, you're an a-hole, F-word you. So, yeah, there's decent character development, at least in the first 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'm liking what I see here. We get some nice babes, and then, we get to go around to see what it's like on the college life. And this beta group is actually, it's got the jocks. It, of course, has a guy who looks like Freddie Jones from Scooby-Doo, who's his name is Brad, the Bradster. He is a douchebag, but the lovable douchebag that, you pay tribute to in here. And eventually you can guess what happens. They all become zombies. Yes, they all become zombies. And the one who puts together stuff, one who saves the day is Tom Atkins. Yes, the guy with the mustache comes in, and he starts off with the greatest line. Thrill me. Bozo, Detective Cameron? No, Bozo the Clown. And then, of course, and he's like, thrill me. Detective Cameron? No. Bullwinkle the Moose. He says thrill me a lot, which it's so freaking... It's the deadpan style of humor that's also very British. So if you happen to like that, this movie will be right up your alley. It's not like where the camera focuses on the scene, but it just happens naturally. and it doesn't feel forced or disparaging, I guess. It feels like it's right. It feels like it's stuck right in there, and just augments the action and everything going on. So yeah, of course, I'm sorry. I'm just going over these scenes. This movie is so freaking great. What I'm going to need is your standard issue flamethrower. Standard issue flamethrower. Here you go. Do you have the permit? No, I don't. And then he points a 12 gauge shotgun at the guy and says, there's gonna be no problem," or something like that. That was funny. So yeah, of course, this movie is it's paying tribute to everything. Oh, sorry, gotta go with a scene of he's in the sorority. He comes in and it says it's Miller time. And I thought what's that to do with Miller beer? Turns out that was an in-joke reference to an actor, Dick Miller. Don't know who that is. And of course, the legendary line. Well, I've got good news and bad news. What's the good news? Your dates are here. What's the bad news? They're dead. Infinite. I just freaking love this movie overall. There's enough of eerie atmosphere in here to which, with a lot of dark, like specifically in the nighttime in the last, I don't know, 25 minutes when it gets dark enough as the fraternity is making their way. We get the shot, we get the dark eerie sky, which just adds more to everything going on. And even so, it's used effectively here. I like that. Decker manages to portray everything in the right way of just making it feel like, oh, you have the fun stuff that happens during the daytime, but then you do the complete opposite of all the horror stuff that happens. I like the transition enough to where it feels this is how horror comedy should elevate. For me, I will admit it was a little slow. About, I don't know, 35 minutes in. It felt like when Tom Atkins wasn't on screen, he was lacking. The film was lacking something. I just think it was just getting towards the build up and had to do some like moments with Cindy and Chris, the heroes, which it's fine for what it is. Eventually, we get the climactic. They get the climax where they both have a shotgun and flamethrower. Manage to take out the fraternity zombies, which I don't think you see much. Somehow, it just works as like this film needed a little bit more action, and that's where it came in, where they pretty much just eliminate, I don't know, roughly 20 people or so, and it's pretty cool to have this action going on. Yeah, it's like this movie pays tribute to what I liked was how it pays tribute to everything. Like I said, everything feels fresh here. There was some corporate meddling going on, complaining about the pacing of the movie, which I kind of do have to agree with a little bit. I'm not as upset about it, but I could tell that Fred Decker said, "Yeah, next time I'm going to have a stopwatch. Next time I direct something akin to this." And the actor who played the kid with, what was that, multiple sclerosis, said they often asked, "Hey, is he handicapped?" He said, something along the lines of like the story does not concern with him being handicapped. It has to do with like all the invasions and stuff. Which he does a pretty good job. So I like the acting in here enough for it to stand out. It's not like it's going to win a Golden Globe or anything, but you could tell that they were having an ton of fun making this, and the chemistry translated well on screen. And when you can tell, it's like, especially the last 20 minutes, the zombie effects, minimal makeup, which is fine. There's enough applied to the douchebag Brad and to the fratty boys, which I like. But yeah, this movie is a cult classic. I think only maybe 2 or 3 libraries in the state had this, and it's got 28,000 people have seen it on the IMDb. If this is not your style of humor, this may be like a 2-star for you, but for me, it's like, oh, easily easily a 3 to 3.5 stars. So yeah, keep that in mind. Get some popcorn, get a couple of beers, tea, whatever. Get some friends, laugh your butt off with Night of the Creeps.